Elizabeth Copeland here, pro trader at Verified Investing. And today we're going to talk about a little crypto. Let's have some fun with it. We're going to go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Maybe even look at Solana. We'll see how we're feeling after a couple of minutes here. But I, again, like to do the macro look and then a micro look. So stick around. Maybe some levels will call to you over the next couple of charts. Let's start with Bitcoin. This is a weekly chart. Very interestingly here, first thing that pops out to me is a head and shoulders pattern. Boom, boom, and then fall down, right? So where was that neckline? That neckline's right here. It did break that neckline with some force right around 83 and then kept going. I'll make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see. There you go. So that measured move, 36%. Now, we weren't quite there. 36, 33% would take us down to 54. Didn't quite drop that low on the weekly chart. But what I do find interesting here is that we're probably going to have quite a bit of resistance right around 85.5 to 85.7, depending on where we touch this weekly neckline, because what typically happens is maybe that measure move doesn't play out. But we do have a retrace to that and then a further downside. So if we can go up with some force here and then pull back, that will be a significant pullback. So depending on how forceful and how vertical this line is into this now, what would now be resistance depends on how sharply it will fall. If it comes up here and does one of these moves where it comes up and then just kind of squiggles through and then comes up, not as likely for a pullback. But aggressive traders, looking at a reversal as it touches the neckline and pushes down, again, with authority, has to push up there. Conservative traders will sometimes wait until a confirmation breakdown before entering. But, that's up to you as far as one of those more long-term outlooks. So let's go ahead and look at a closer time frame. This is the weekly. Bitcoin, trading right around 78 to 79 today. If we look at the daily chart, it is looking to move up quite a bit over the last several days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, up 7%. That's pretty good. So let's look at some support and resistance, I guess, in the more near term. I think that right here at the 80, psychological level as well, of course, right around this 80,000 mark, 80, even 85. I think we do have some, again, depending on how fast we go up there, I do think we have some sort of either consolidation or reversal. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 days up, you get a good run up here with, again, some authority. I do see some sort of pullback, at least intraday. Again, this is a more short-term level, an intraday pullback. From this. It actually already pulled back from this consolidation level right there at 79.3. But since that's already been touched, likelihood of pushing through is a little bit higher up here. So again, that's my first level for a reversal. We also have, some trend lines here, maybe even coming in a little bit closer. Kind of interesting here. If we pull through some of these lines, it's going to bring it back up here to the 90 level. Again, another psychological level, 91 even. But that does line up for some pivots for highs and lows, which acted as support and now kind of support and resistance, right? Kind of actually even move that up just a little bit there. So kind of another level there, right about 89.3 even. To 90, another area where if we come up into this level, this upsloping trend line and this psychological level with some pivots, another area for either consolidation or reversal. But again, I was, like I said, last video, I was short-term bullish on Bitcoin, and look what's happened. It has gone up quite a bit. It doesn't mean that there won't be more upside. Again, the daily chart, it plays out in days, weekly chart in weeks. So that's a little bit more of a short-term look for you for a day or swing trade opportunity there for Bitcoin. So not looking at anything, too close within today, but, that 85 level, so 80.5 level is looking like a nice little area for potential intraday reversal that you might be able to enter there, depending on your risk management, of course. All right, so let's go over to XRP USD. This is the daily chart. Let's look at the weekly, though. So if we go over here, we had those highs right there in July of 2025, and then a steady grind down. Haven't had much of a reversal, especially when you look over here in 2024, a nice pop in just a few weeks of 500% nearly pop in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. And then a little bit of a pullback and push up. So we were making some higher highs. Then we didn't do so well. And then we did a great there, 80% move from June of 2025 all the way to July. And then since then, it's just been kind of a slow grind down, not seeing much movement since we started in these consolidation areas right around February of this year. So, on the weekly, I do see it a little bit more on the upside. Again, a little bit more bullish on this just because we were so beaten down. We're getting a rounded bottom here, which would indicate a little bit more of a pop up. So we'll see how it goes in the next few weeks. Again, this will play out in weeks. But look at this downsloping trend line. If it did happen to come down here, geez, below 1, I do like that. That's a pretty strong level for a bounce. But on the upside, it'd be hard for me to short this right here because it is so beaten up. Not to say there wouldn't be some reversals there, but it does look like a nice little rounded bottom there, which would indicate maybe a more of a move up than not. On the daily, again, a little bit more of a short term here. You do see those bounces there that I was talking about on the weekly. And if you look a little bit closer here, nice too. This one did make just slightly higher lows. So we want to see this actually, what we want to see here is a break of this downsloping trend line to the upside. What will happen here is aggressive traders get in as that breaks. Conservative traders wait for the break and retrace. But let's see if we can get a nice breakthrough of this downsloping trend line. That would put about 1.5-ish area for that break, depending on where it hits, obviously. But some nice little candles there from February and then from March of this year. Let's see if we can push through. The more times it's hit, the less it works, right? Especially on these down-sloping trend lines. So I do really like this trend line here for a break of XRP to the upside. Again, if that happens, definitely a lot more bullish, especially if it even retraces and bounces once more. So that is XRP. Let's go over to Ethereum. Ethereum, another one. I really like this chart. It has been, beaten down again, and some of these cryptos that are beaten down will likely have more of a bounce. So we are looking at Ethereum here right around today, right around 2,345. And it also had, look at this, a nice head and shoulders pattern. Boom, right off the gate. It's easy to identify right here. Now, did that make the measured move? It did not, but let's see where that neckline is on the weekly. Again, this is the weekly, more long-term scale. We do have this playing out. Let's look at this measured move here. It's about 51% move. Break here, 51% move would put it right about there. Actually, this pivot low. So I actually do love that as support, by the way, if it ever got down that low again. But on the upside, what I would really love to see is a retrace of this neckline for a potential move down to the downside. So it actually has quite a bit to go. I mean, that's still a 33% move up. Not saying that it will do that or will get there. But before I enter any trades on any kind of reversal decision, it would have to touch that neckline for me. Because otherwise, it had a nice little move down. Actually, we broke this pivot right here, right around here, did retrace below that, but then boom, push right back up. And actually, if you grab this, let's see if we have a parallel channel here, maybe in the daily even. For a more short-term look. Looks like the short-term here. How about more right here? All right, so we'll say right here. That's actually a pretty good, we had a support right here. Erase this head and shoulders pattern for you. So maybe even right here. Support right here fell through, kind of was trading in this parallel channel, has touched once, twice, and then maybe even 3. But what I would look for here is a potential, this is actually a bear flag, but just keep in mind, bear flag at the bottom of a chart, not the all-time lows, but bottom of recent charts, doesn't always play out. So what you could do in the short term, if you actually really wanted to look for an intraday reversal, is get in at the touch of this upsloping trend line with a hard stop if it breaks above. But eventually I do see this kind of popping back up to this 3,000 level. So for intraday play, yeah, absolutely. Short term, we're not holding this a long time. You could see some reversal at the top of this parallel. But just be careful because bear flags don't always play out at the bottom of charts, just like head and shoulders pattern at the bottom of charts are not as likely to play out. So any kind of bear flag, any kind of indicator, not as likely to play out. But if you're looking for a short term, that's okay. It's very different. There's short term and long term holds. Short term, that might be a nice move for you intraday at that parallel channel. But if you're looking for the long term, maybe just be a little bit more patient and conservative with Ethereum. But that does actually look like all the time we have today. Maybe next time I'll get to Solana. I do like that chart a lot and mapping that out for you. But hopefully you got something out of this technical analysis. Let me know below if you're more of a long-term trader or short-term, and I'll be happy to go over some new charts if you have any suggestions below next time. Have a great day, everybody, and I will see you in the charts in just a few days from now.